Hello guys, Ashley here, also the English fan back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about some of the different known teen drama topics today, right now, at this very moment. I want to talk about The Walking Dead. For those who don't know, The Walking Dead is one of my favorite shows of all time, easily in the top 10 of one of my favorite shows. I have not seen every single show that came out that has been considered top tier, but Walking Dead is definitely one of the top tier shows that I have always been obsessed with. I stopped watching after season 10, and I never went back to watch it. Season 10 just really drew me out, and I just didn't care about Walking Dead anymore. The only time I go back and watch Walking Dead is for seasons 1 through 6, and occasionally season 8. And I only watch season 9 for Rick's final episodes. Other than that, season 9 is a season that I just feel like, don't care about it. If it wasn't Rick's final episode, didn't care. But I personally do like season 8 a lot. I feel like season 8 is really overhated, but I've already ranked the Walking Dead seasons before on my channel. If you guys want me to re-rank the seasons again, the season ranking is when I first started this channel, so I have nothing against re-ranking them for something new and more updated, since I know how to work my YouTube channel now. I can do that for you guys. But what I want to talk about in the Walking Dead is that I want to give my thoughts on the Rick, Lori, and Shane love triangle, and why I personally think it is one of the most underrated love triangles of all freaking time. And with this love triangle, the weird thing about this love triangle is that I'm not rooting for either side, because I think Lori is a terrible person, and I don't like Shane either. I think Shane is just as terrible as Lori, and Rick is the only angel out of the three. I don't root for anyone to be with Lori, and I'm also going to go on a side rant talking about the double standards when it comes to female love triangles and male love triangles, because this love triangle kind of puts me the double standard when it comes to male and female love triangles, because I was just listening to a video yesterday about a guy talking about Lori not deserving all the hate, and he kind of made a lot of excuses for a lot of the things that she do and say in seasons 1 and 2. So let's get into it. Why do I think this love triangle is underrated? Well, because this love triangle had a lot of great drama in it. A lot of great drama, even if you weren't rooting for a side. It was so much good drama. Seeing Rick and Shane just argue over this dumpster trash bitch, Lori, was drama to my eyes. It was drama. Seeing Lori just play both sides and act so innocent as if she's not playing both sides is drama to my eyes. Seeing her emotionally manipulate Shane and Rick is something that drives me crazy. I don't think either one of them should have been with Lori. Honestly, probably Shane and Lori deserve each other a lot more, because they're both scum, they're both garbage juice, and the excuses that they make for what they did really bothers me in this show. Now, let's talk about the situation between Shane and Lori. I have nothing against Lori and Shane hooking up. Now, follow me. I know a lot of people say that they didn't like it because it seems like the ultimate betrayal, but I feel like because they thought Rick was dead. You've seen this in books, you've probably seen this in movies, and probably other shows. Whenever a significant other dies, it's very 99% accurate that that significant other would get with the best friend. I have nothing against that. It's very obvious that Lori and Shane would hook up. Shane is probably the close second thing that Carl probably had to a father figure, so it made sense for them to hook up. What I have an issue with is that as soon as Rick came back in episode 2 of season 1, I believe it's episode 2, it's been a while since I rewatched Walking Dead. The last time I rewatched it was probably during my senior year of high school, and that was in 2023, I believe. So that was a couple years ago. So probably like 2 years ago. So it's been a while, but normal Walking Dead normal Walking Dead knowledge is probably episode 2 season 1. As soon as it's revealed that Rick is alive, Shane and Lori, well, you know what, mostly Lori, because Shane every time Shane brings it up, what they've been through and what they both felt, what she felt, at least he has the balls to admit that he don't feel wrong about his actions. I mean, he is an asshole for not feeling bad, but I can't blame him for being honest. At least I much rather respect him for being honest and keeping it real than lying, like Lori, like how she always lies on top of more lies, just lying to people's faces, playing up for clownery. She does it all the time. There's not one moment in season 1 and 2 when Lori isn't lying or acting like she wasn't a worthy participant in the affair. As soon as Britt comes back, Lori just acts like those months that she had with Shane didn't happen. As soon as Britt comes back, she's telling Shane, you don't talk to my son, you don't look at my son, you don't talk to me. From now on, my family is off limits to you. And when Shane told her that's completely unfair, I agree with him. You're not going to tell me that I can't conversate with Carl or Rick because you're feeling guilty. That's not fair. Talk about you told me my husband was dead. You're the one who believed him, you dumb bitch. You're the one who believed him. You're not going to make Shane feel bad for you believing in his stupidity. That's no one's fault but yours. Sorry, girl. Not going to happen. Like, I can understand why Shane why he got obsessive. It's not Lori's fault that he got obsessive. It's Shane. Shane is the one who couldn't understand what Lori was saying. And like I said, you've seen this when it comes to different TV shows or movies, when it comes to affair storylines. Whenever someone is deeply into the feelings of what, kind of like, has anyone ever seen Fatal Attraction? I'll use a movie for example. In Fatal Attraction, I think the movie came out in 1978 or 6. It's a good movie. In Fatal Attraction, a man has a one-night stand and a little side affair with a woman. The woman becomes obsessed with him. She thinks that the little affair they had was real, not knowing her role in the affair. She didn't understand that she was just a side chick, that it was never anything real for him. She was just a conquest, and what he really wanted was his wife and his child. So the whole movie, she's kind of obsessed with him, and she kind of doesn't take no for an answer. She kind of makes it her goal to be obsessed with him. It's not his fault that she got obsessed with him. It's her fault. She's the one who couldn't take no for an answer, and that drove her crazy. Kind of like Shane. The more that Lori pretended nothing ever happened, it's what made him more and more upset. I can understand why he got mad about Lori pretending that nothing ever happened, because it's insulting to me that you would treat what we had going on as if it was just a little conquest. It was like it was a little hit and quit. When it was more than that. You were in love with him, Lori. Just say the truth. All those times that Rick wasn't there, you will find in love with his best friend. Just say it. She was so afraid to admit it. To the fact that in season 2, when she told Shane about what happened, and when he said, did you tell him that you were a widow, that you were grieving? She said, yeah. He said that ain't true. Now, she might have been grieving, but you're not going to blame grief on you falling in love with somebody in the midst of it. Come on now. Like I said, think about what you felt. Think about what you felt. The whole world just going to shit, and y'all were happy. Like, y'all saw her in the episodes on her and Shane. They chatted up like a family and eat chicken and sit by the campsite singing Kumbaya and all this crap. Her and Shane were acting like a couple, acting like they were married. And when he told her that, think about what you felt, she just stood there and acted like that Shane was talking to a fucking wall. She was just acting like she couldn't speak. She just went completely mute. She didn't have shit to say because she knew that he was right. Whenever Lori looks away and she never looks at anybody, that's when she's been defeated. I realize that a lot with her when it comes to season 2, that whenever someone is talking to her and they're telling her the truth, She never looks at them in the eyes. She kind of looks away or looks down at the ground, or she always looks like she's about to get ready and cry. Lori is really annoying. I don't know if I made that crystal clear. Lori actually made it in my top 10 characters that I completely cannot stand. Lori's annoying. Lori's manipulative. Lori's a liar. She's a hypocrite. She really did play in Shane's face. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, now Shane had no right to come on to her like that in season 1, in the last episode. No right. No right. He the one who got upset, but I honestly feel like on some extent, if Lori is telling you that what y'all had is over with, I expect you as a person to leave it alone. If she's telling you to leave her alone and that she's never coming back to you, if you keep on coming on to her, during a man or a woman, if you keep going on to him or if he keeps going on to her, that is harassment. And Shane kind of was harassing her with the coming up to her and trying to get her to change her mind and kept on reminding her of what happened between them. It was harassing, but I just really feel like Shane just couldn't let it go. He really just couldn't let it go. He honestly thought Rick stole Lori and Carl, which is completely absurd. There were a lot of times in season 2 where Lori completely emotionally manipulated Shane. She begged him to stay after she knew that he was leaving. She begged him to stay. After Shane yelled at Carl and she told him that the way you just blew him off was completely cold, she talked about, are you really going to give it a cold shoulder? He talked about what you want to say, Lori. Aren't you the one who told me not to talk to you, not to talk to Carl, not to talk to Rick, not to talk to whoever the fuck, and now you're going to beg me to talk to you? When he told her that he was leaving, she looked so devastated that the fact that he wanted to leave. Oh my god. And then in season 2, where she told Shane that I never think you put that on me, you healed me, and you blah 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 blah. She told Shane that she never thanked him enough for the things that he did for her and Carl when Rick wasn't there. Just completely willing him in, leading him on. And she told him that she don't even know whose baby this is. There is no way you're going to tell me that Lori did not manipulate Shane into doing half of the shit that he did. She is the reason why Shane wanted to kill Rick. She put Shane and Rick at odds, and she enjoyed every single moment of it. And you know it. And you know it, and you know it. She got pregnant. She found out she was pregnant in season 2. What is one of the most shocking reveals in season 2? I remember when she found out that she was pregnant, I remember thinking, oh my god, things just got even more interesting. Not only does she have an affair, but she gets pregnant? Oh my god. Oh gosh. Even though Shane and Lori were both scum, I honestly feel like Lori is the villain in the entire seasons 1 and 2. Honestly, even the bigger villain than Shane, because the way that she had Rick and Shane wrapped around her little finger and was just able to get them to do whatever she wanted just shows how manipulative she was. In season 2, when she told Rick that Shane said that you can't protect us, you're gonna get me killed, you're gonna get the baby killed, you're gonna get Carl killed, that he thinks the baby is his. He thinks I'm his. That entire scene with her and Rick in season 2 was manipulation at its finest. She tried to get Rick to see Shane more as a villain than her, when she's just as wrong as Shane. Very, very manipulative. When Rick found out that she was pregnant, she talked about, he said, we have no house, no roof, and whatever the fuck. She tried to make Rick feel bad for her being pregnant, or trying to like blame him for why she can't have a kid right now. And it's just like, girl, will you shut the fuck up? Shut up. You're the one you're the one trying to have a secret abortion. You're the one trying to hide this pregnancy. Like, if it's mine, if it's my kid, why are you trying to get an abortion? Why are you trying to hide it from me? Rick put two together real quick when he said, I can't do this anymore. What else do you need to tell me? She said that her and Shane hooked up. She told him. And I think Rick understood because she thought that he was dead, but I really feel like for Rick to not see that there was still something going on between her and Shane emotionally, it just showed how emotionally manipulative Lori had Rick and Shane wrapped around her finger, and the fact that she tried to act all stupid about it in season 3 when Rick was giving her the cold shoulder, it's like she deserved every bit of it. She deserved every bit of that cold shoulder. The way Lori manipulated both of them, had her wrapped around her finger, pretty much pussy whipped the fuck out of both of them. It was without a doubt that she was truly the villain, and there is nothing that none of y'all can say to me. The fact that she got mad at Rick when he told her that he killed Shane, that proved to me right then and there that she was never over Shane. Right then and there. She was never over Shane. She still loved him. Why are you worried about Shane? Where's Shane? Right? Because why are you worried about that man? He's not here. He's not here. He's not here. So, in my opinion, Lori was the biggest villain. Lori was a whore and a manipulator, a liar, and a deceiver. And not only was she a bad wife and a bad mother. Well, she was not only was she a bad wife, she was also a bad mother. She never watched after Carl to save her life. Carl was always going and missing whenever Lori was watching him. She never knew where her son was. So not only is she a bad wife, she's also a terrible mother. And honestly, even though her death did make me sad, in my opinion, good riddance, because Rick deserves someone better, in my opinion. And I'm glad he ended up with Michonne, because Michonne was a better ride or die than Lori ever could be. And I said it. That's how I feel with the Love Triangle. I think the Love Triangle was, my father loves the Love Triangle, sorry. I think the Love Triangle was very good. I don't root for anyone to be with Lori, but I honestly feel like this Love Triangle delivered some great drama, great scenes, and just a really good Love Triangle. Like, I really feel like even though you weren't rooting for anyone, they still were able to accomplish what a Love Triangle is supposed to give you. Drama. Non-stop drama. Non-stop interaction. Just, I guess for some people they were picking a side, but me personally, I never, ever picking a side. I honestly thought Rick deserved better than Lori. I honestly thought that Shane and Lori were both shitty for what they did. Just basically trying to not feeling bad about what they did. I can understand why Shane don't feel bad, because I can respect him for it, because he didn't feel bad for falling in love with her. But I just really feel like for Shane to see Rick as the enemy just shows how emotionally manipulated he was by Lori. But me, I was not picking a side. I don't think Lori deserved Rick at all. At fucking all. But I can respect this Love Triangle for giving me great drama, because it is a very underrated Love Triangle compared to some of the Love Triangles that I have seen. This one is the most underrated. But I want to talk about the hypocrisy when it comes to female Love Triangles and male Love Triangles. And one of the things I have realized when it came to female Love Triangles and male Love Triangles is that when it comes to the female ones, it seems like females are allowed to get away with certain shit that if when it comes to male Love Triangles, a man would get called out for, quote unquote. The two male Love Triangles that I constantly always think of, where the guy is in the middle of two women, is One Tree Hill and Degrassi with Craig, Ashley, and Manny. Craig was seen as the villain because he was cheating, right? And it's wrong for him to cheat, right? The same thing with Lucas. Lucas is an asshole for cheating twice and pretty much hurting Brooke and blah, 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 blah. The same thing with Craig. He was an asshole for cheating on Ashley and hurting Manny, right? But no one ever talks about the part that, what's crazy is that, here's what I'm trying to say, sorry, is that it's wrong for a man to do that. But when you talk about female Love Triangles, Vampire Diaries, Dawson's Creek, Walking Dead, I haven't seen every single T-drama show that involves a Love Triangle. Oh, not even that. Beverly Hills 90210, Dylan, Kelly, and Brenda. Dylan was a bad. Honestly, when you watch that Love Triangle, a lot of the blame, because honestly, I really been thinking about watching Beverly Hills 90210. I just don't have Paramount Plus right now, and I'm not gonna watch all 10 seasons of that show on my phone. I've just been watching a lot of YouTube clips, so if I have an opinion, it's based off what the clips I've seen on YouTube. I can tell y'all this right now. After watching the love story of Brenda and Dylan, I consider myself a Brenda and Dylan shipper. Honestly, a lot of clips that I've seen with Dylan and Kelly, I just don't understand why people like them. Him and Kelly just seem very surface level. It seemed very superficial. It seemed like all him and Kelly really had was sexual tension. It never really felt like it was deeper than, it never felt like it reached anything deeper than what the writers try to convince you. No matter how much the writers try to convince us that it was something deeper than it was, it never really was. It seemed hella superficial. I think a lot of people thought that they were cuter because they had a lot of things going on. You know, Dylan had an alcoholic problem. His mom wasn't in his life. Him and his dad didn't have a close relationship because his dad worked all the time. But Dylan wasn't poor. Dylan was rich, pretty much. His dad owned hotels, from what I remember. And Kelly, her mother is an alcoholic, and I think her parents are divorced, something like that. And her and David are brother and sister, I believe, in the show, based off what I've seen. And honestly, I just consider myself more of a Dylan and Brenda shipper. That relationship just seemed to have more depth to it when I watch it. They kind of always wanted the best for each other, and I just like them more. I love the chemistry between Luke Perry and Shannon Doherty. R.I.P. to them. I just like the chemistry just seemed, it was more convincing. It was more genuine. Compared to him and Kelly, yeah, they had chemistry, but to me, I thought they had chemistry in season 3. Now, I did not watch the show onward to see what it became, but a lot of clips that I did see, him and Kelly did have chemistry in season 3, but a lot of the stuff between them just seemed like sexual tension. Whenever him and Kelly were together, they were always having sex or kissing up on each other. It never really seemed like they didn't have a genuine conversation about anything. It just seemed like they just kind of had sex all the time. I just want to talk about that because I just want people to know that I am thinking about getting into Beverly Hills 90210 because I remember I did try to get into the show before when I was a little bit younger, and I just couldn't get into it, but I might try to get into it now. Even though 10 seasons is a lot to ask out of me because personally, once I feel like a show has run on for way too long, I don't watch. So that's me. If the show to me feels like it's dragging by like season 4, I won't watch it. But Beverly Hills 90210 is what I mean. But even in that love triangle, when it comes to, sorry to get on side, when it comes to Dylan, Brenda, and Kelly, a lot of the blame kind of goes to Kelly. And Dylan, I barely see Dylan get any hate online when it comes to love triangle. A lot of the hate is on Kelly, which I feel like is a tad bit misogynistic because Dylan was the one who was in love with Brenda. He's supposed to be in this long relationship with Brenda, right? Which I do know that Brenda did cheat on him when she went to Paris, but she told Dylan about her being with this other guy, and they still decided they were going to be together. But yet Dylan is out here fraternizing it up with her friend, which me personally, were Brenda and Kelly ever really friends? Because honestly, when I watch clips on YouTube, Kelly is a hater. Kelly is a hater. She hates on Brenda all the time. But that's a conversation for another day. But honestly, I really feel like in that little triangle, no one ever talks about how Dylan kind of was like playing both sides. There were moments in season like 3 and 4 that I watched that he's supposed to be with Kelly, but yet he's giving Brenda all his attention, right? And me personally, I would say I'm not mad because I'm a Dylan and Brenda shipper, but it just seems like a lot of the hate goes towards Kelly and not Dylan, which is what I'm basically trying to say. That no one, when it comes to the male love triangles, majority of these male love triangles, no one ever talks about how majority of the females kind of play a part on some of the stupid decisions that they also make. I'll give you an example. When it comes, and this one is a big one, the Lathan versus Brookes love triangle, that love triangle has been a common debate since once you get aired. A lot of people like to blame Lucas and Peyton for a lot of the cheating, but no one ever looks at Brooke for the part that she played in a love triangle. Brooke knew that they had. I've talked about this so many times that I don't even know how many times I can repeat myself. Brooke knew that they had feelings for each other, and she still dated him. So at some point, I feel like Brooke and the Brooke fans need to make sure that they need to take some accountability and realize that Brooke was just stupid for thinking that she could compete where she didn't compare. Also, now the grassy one with Craig, that one is very different because in season 2, Craig and Manny did go on a date, but they did not date each other. They went on a date, but they didn't date each other. But even in that situation, no one talks about how Manny pretty much waited and bait to take advantage of his vulnerability, and they had sex. No one ever talks about how Manny was pretty much pouring herself out to Craig because she always wanted him. But yet, Craig is a bad guy for giving into her advances when she's the one who came on to him. That's what I mean. The same thing for Dylan and Kelly. No one gets on Dylan for pretty much giving into desire and lust for Kelly, but everyone gets on Kelly because she's quote unquote Brenda's friend. In my opinion, as much as I love Lathan, they were wrong for how they did things. Honestly, all for the Lucas, Brooke, and Peyton love triangle, they were all wrong for how they did things. In season 1 specifically, because in season 1, like I said, Brooke knew, and I guess Brooke just really wanted to be with him, so she just tried to act dumb. But at the end of the day, season 1, if they all were a little bit more smart and a little bit more mature and handle things with caution, I think things could have been handled differently. In season 3, like I said, there were so many indications of Peyton and Lucas being back together in season 3 that it's weird to me that Brooke would give Lucas a second chance after she found those letters in his closet. But yeah, everyone makes an excuse for Brooke's stupidity. Everyone makes an excuse for it. There's no excuses for stupidity. Brooke found those letters. Brooke always had doubts about him and Peyton's friendship being so much more, and yet she still dated him. She blamed Lucas for a lot of her insecurities, and she took no accountability for her decisions for how she was feeling. And I hate it, and I will always admit that. I don't care how anyone feels. A lot of people feel like I'm trying to blame Brooke for what happened to her, and on some extent, I am, because again, people make a lot of excuses for her stupidity. Because it doesn't take an oxymoron to realize the feelings and the chemistry and the tension between Lucas and Peyton. The fact that she would have him go up there and do a I love you scene after knowing their history, that to me just seems like class number 1 stupidity. But I will get into all that when I talk about my thoughts on the love triangle, because I realized I've never done a video on how I feel about the love triangle, and it's personally my favorite team on the love triangle. It's simply iconic. But it seems like male love triangles are hated more than female love triangles, and that's just the female love triangles. Female love triangles, you got Selena versus Elena, you got Dawson, Pacey, and Joey. I never finished Dawson's Creek, but again, I used to watch YouTube clips a lot when I was trying to get into it, so I do know a little bit about that love triangle. Again, it seems like no hate goes towards, for the Selena and Delana one, no one ever talks about how much Elena kind of like played with both of their feelings at the same time. She kind of was like 1 minute lovey-dovey up on Stefan, and then next minute lovey-dovey all up on Damon. Like, she kind of, on some extent, pitted them against each other, but a lot of that came from Damon and Stefan repeating their same old mistakes. But for the Dawson, Joey, and Pacey one, it seems like, since a lot of people did not like Dawson, I don't like Dawson either, but I don't feel like because you don't like somebody that means that he deserves to get hurt by the 2 people that were his friends. And because people wanted Pacey and Joey to be together for so much, a lot of people kind of excuse them hooking up, which I feel like is completely unfair. Just because you don't like Dawson doesn't mean that what they did behind his back should be excusable. And no one ever talks about that either. How pretty much Joey went back and forth between the both of them, and no one seems to care. Like her and Dawson hooked up during the college years, and yet no one gets mad at that. But if that would have been Dawson, if Dawson, Tiffany, it seems like people were more mad about Dawson hooking up with Joey because Pacey has been his best friend for so long. How? Joey is a participant in what they were doing. You can't just blame one person when another person is a worthy participant in what they're doing. I hate that. Like, I honestly remember reading comments about her and Dawson hooking up because they had sex for the first time. But she already lost her virginity to Pacey. But her and Dawson, their relationship didn't last very long. So they had sex for the first time in college. And I remember everybody was getting so mad at Dawson for coming on to Pacey's ex-girlfriend, but yet no one talks about how how Joey was a worthy participant in the sex, even though her and Pacey had a long-time relationship. But yet people blame Dawson. People hate Dawson for it. That just shows the double standards between male love triangles and female love triangles. The whole show is Samurai Turned Pretty. Like, not gonna lie, like Billy kind of like played sides a lot between Conrad and Jeremiah. Like, she really chased Conrad a lot in season 1. Like, she really was a pick-me in season 1, and like the fact that how she did Jeremiah in season 1, I would never ever forget it, and never ever. I like Billy, but what she did to Jeremiah in season 1, kind of like playing with his feelings, I hated her for it. Let me see if I'm forgetting any. I wouldn't mention this one, but this one is kind of a non-factor. Gossip Girl with Blair, Nate, and Chuck. I never really cared for Nate and Blair, so I really didn't care if Blair hurt him. Like, I'm not gonna lie, not saying that anyone deserves to get hurt, but I really did not care about Nate and Blair. They were so emotionally unconnected that it was just like I didn't care if either one of them cheated. Honestly, the only reason why I hated why Nate cheated in the pilot was because in a couple episodes after the pilot, in the Thanksgiving episode, it's very much to the audience, what they tell us, that her and Nate were really into each other. But after Nate cheated, he kind of just seemed like disconnected from the relationship, and that's when I just didn't care about her and Nate. Like, it just seemed like he really didn't want to be there. It seemed like all Serena had to do was give him the good pussy, give him the good coochie, and Nate was off for Serena now. He kind of died. The cooch shadow was dead, I guess, and whatever, I guess. But basically what I'm trying to say when it comes to female love triangles and male love triangles is that it's okay for females to do certain shit, but it's not okay for males to do it. Females can cheat, females can play mind games, and they can pretty much pit two friends, two brothers, whatever the fuck, two cousins at this point. They can pit two guys against each other, but for a man to get in between two girls and ruin their friendship, it ruins girl power. For a guy to do that, he's dumb, he's manipulative, he's a cheater, and he's not worthy of a second chance, but yet it's okay to give female second chances when they do this shit. And I'm so tired of the double standards when it comes to men and women. I really am. People really think that it's just like just a man thing. Like, no, there are a lot of things that women are allowed to get away with too, and I really feel like people don't see that. But yeah, like for example, it's okay for if a female is not getting what she needs out of a relationship with a guy, and if she cheats on him, it's seen as understandable because she's looking for someone who's emotionally into her. And I can understand, but if you're looking for someone to be emotionally tied to you, break up with that person. Do not cheat on them. But it's wrong for Lucas to cheat on Brooke, even though he's more emotionally tied to Peyton. Huh? Crazy. It's okay for Elena to kiss Damon and finally acknowledge her feelings to him, but it's not okay for Lucas to do it. it's wrong for Lucas to acknowledge that he has feelings and to act on them, but it's not wrong for Elena to do it, Billy, or Joey, or any of these other girls to do. Lori, a lot of these girls can get away with it, but the men are not allowed. It just shows the hypocrisy between men and women, and I'm tired of it. If Elena is allowed to have sex with Damon and further her sexual desires towards him, then if I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. If Lucas wanted to do the same thing, or Craig wanted to do the same thing, then they should also be allowed to do it. If they have feelings for somebody and it went as far as sex, they should be allowed to do that because they already have feelings for this person. So what's wrong for them? What's wrong about them acting out on how they feel? I'm really tired of it. It needs to stop, and I really just been thinking about this because it's really been on my mind for a while. The more that I watch these drama shows, I realize that it's okay for women to do things, but it's not okay for men to do it. And it's annoying. And I'm tired of it. Stop the standards. Stop all of it. And that's honestly all I really have for you guys today. I couldn't rest without knowing that I couldn't rest without making another video today. So I will see y'all probably tomorrow with a Secret Life American Ninja rant or One Tree Hill rant. But y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.